Welcome to Xanathar Guild Kingpin. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, I think we can keep on this one. We've got Ancient Tomb, we've got two color sources, and also a little bit of top of library interaction with Gold Caller's Bell. Yes, we'll keep on this one. We could ship it away if we wanted to get some card advantage, but we can make this work. We've got a board wipe, and we do have Murderous Rider to at least have some sort of answer for Kess, and if our opponent's playing any sort of Planeswalkers, we've got at least Pithing Needle to stop that Planeswalker. So yes, we'll keep on this one. But yes, welcome to Xanathar. Hope you're excited to steal some stuff. It's not Gonti Black Friday, but boy, is that close enough to it with Xanathar. So let's see if our opponent wants to keep... Oh, there we go. So they are good. Let's go and lead off with... I think we'll lead off with Fabled Passage. It comes into the battlefield tapped. Actually, let's just do this. Let's just go ahead and lead off with... Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do Fabled Passage. That way we can just go and grab ourselves a black source, have that come into play tapped, and the next turn we end up going for Gold Caller's Bell, so that'll work out. So anything else past the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Xanathar. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent, and actually we'll do that in just a second. So let's kick back over here, see what we draw into. Draw into Hedron Archive. Let's go ahead and drop in Sunken Ruins, and let's go for Gold Caller's Bell. I like that. We're going to be able to get down Gold Caller's Bell, and then also we'll be able to go for Hedron Archive next turn, which is a very good thing. And hopefully that'll be a very quick Xanathar, which sounds like a pretty fun game plan, at least for us. We're playing Xanathar. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent until end of turn. That player can't cast spell. Oh, we got Brawl. Can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of the library at any time. You may play the top card of the library, and you may spend manas over any color to cast that spell. So let's go lead off with Ancient Tomb, and while our opponent is shields down, let's drop in Hedron Archive. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's drop in Hedron Archive. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And that'll still allow us to end up going for Gold Caller's Bell, or excuse me, Lantern of Insight. It's going to be 1, 2. We could just go Blind Fire on... Look at us. We got some, we got Lantern Control assembled. I'm loving this. All right, anything else? We'll click OK. Yeah, we're going to hold on to Pithing Needle right now, because with us being able to look at the top part of the library, we'll be able to do something with that. So, and excuse me, that's the top part of our library, so that's what we're drawing next. Let's get our opponent's library popped up. There we go. So they're going to shuffle that card away. And actually, let's get a little bit of a better zone area going. There we go. And then we can have the stack come over there. That way we can kind of keep track of what's going on. So playing against Kess, and that's going to be Lightning Greaves. Sure thing, go for it. Playing against Kess, flying during each of your turns, you may cast instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. And I think, yeah, I don't think we want wandering on the battlefield. So let's go and go each player. So we will end up missing out on Command Tower, which will be our land drop for next turn, but I think we're okay with that. So let's go and get rid of wandering. I think that's going to be a good option. But yes, with Kess, and then if a spell would be cast this way, exile it instead. And we may, with Imrith on top, we may end up going for that mill option. That'll get rid of Badlands, and I think we're actually okay with that, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go and drop that. Let's see if we can't hit a land card. And that'll be Arcane Signet, which we will take. So let's go and draw into Arcane Signet. That's going to be Flooded Strand on top. Just to re-rack, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's just go and go for Xanathar. Let's see if we've got this. That's going to be tapping down for Dimir colors. There we go. Let's click on that black mana. Tap down Ancient Tomb, Hedron Archive, and let's go for Xanathar. Let's get Xanathar on the battlefield. I like that. And then anything else, we will pass turn. So now we'll see if this is going to stick. You know, if our opponent's got some spot removal, they've got it. But if we can get Xanathar to stick, if we can start cycling through our opponent's library, that sounds like a pretty fun plan. So we did cover Kess, we did cover Xanathar. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that will apply my affiliate link. That'll allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you're looking to build a new commander from the Dungeons & Dragons set, they've got you covered. Let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. Let's give a quick shout out to Ink Gaming. All right, opponents got it. They've got Terminate. Just wanted to see if they got it. So let's go ahead and send Xanathar back to the command zone. If they don't, we're in a pretty good spot. Let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time. So let's have some fun. So we've got Crux of Fate. We can burn Crux of Fate on Brawl if we wanted to. Let's go and drop in Flooded Strand. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-7, so we're actually one away. Let's go and drop in Arcane Signet. That way we can be online for a Xanathar again. So we'll drop in Arcane Signet. And that's going to be them going for Kess next turn with the land drop. So I think what we may end up doing, I think we'll just hold on to Crux of Fate. I kind of like that. And anything else, let's go and pass the turn over there. But yes, if you're keeping score at home, it's officially free time. So let's have some fun. And also, first time I'm doing this, I'm going to have opponent's going to go for Cyclonic Rift on Hedron Archive. Yeah, that's good. So it's going to send that back to the hand. That will be Island on top. Let's go ahead and crack Flooded Strand. You know, we do like Trinket Mage, but Trinket Mage is going to be one of those cards that we're trying to grab, either Ghoul Caller's Bell or Lantern of Insight. So let's go ahead and shuffle up Flooded Strand. And let's go ahead and grab ourselves, I think at this point, we'll just grab Ice Tunnel. That way it enters the battlefield tapped. And that's going to be Darksteel Citadel. And I think we're okay with them drawing an island, so let's go and let that pass on through. But yes, this is the first time I'm doing this. I do have a $30 budget build of Xanathar down in the link description below, too, if you want to check that out. I'll be doing a deck tech video on it at a later point. But yeah, if you want to check it out, it's down there. Not the exact rip or copy of this particular build of Xanathar. This is more of an Artifact Tezzeret style build. But yeah, it's down there if you want to check it out, and then we'll talk about what we've got going on here in just a second. So we've got Kess active in the command zone. I think what we'll end up doing on this one is we're going to try to jam a Crux of Fate. I think that sounds pretty good. So let's go and drop in Darksteel Citadel. Let's see if we can't get this this Crux of Fate to stick. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we go 4, that'll give us 3, and that'll be just enough for Hedron Archive and Crux of Fate, just in case they've got like Spell Pierce or something like that. So let's go Crux of Fate, destroy all non-dragon creatures. All right, so it's going to send everybody back. And what we can do is if we still want to stick around with Pithing Needle and Lightning Greaves, we can certainly go for that. We don't want them to have Kefnet, so let's go and go for each player mills a card. And it's going to be Exotic Orchard. Okay. And yeah, if we want to keep Murderous Rider online, I think this will be a pretty good bet. So let's go and drop in Pithing Needle. Let's go and name Lightning Greaves. That way we still have... There we go. Let's click on Lightning Greaves, and that is the correct card. So we're going to name Lightning Greaves and then anything else past turn. So we do have Tezzeret on top of our library, so that gives us something else to do. Like I mentioned, with Xanathar, one of the things that you're trying to do is... control the top part of our opponent's library, but since we're running so many artifacts, Ghoul Caller's Bell, Lantern of Insight, stuff like Pithing Needle, it just makes a great home for something like Tezzeret. So especially if we can draw into Tezzeret on this turn, or next turn, get Tezzeret down, we can go for the +1. We actually are sitting at a pretty good artifact count if we wanted to go for the -3, but what we're trying to do right now is simply just generate some extra value. So, all right, so we do have a naked Kess on the battlefield, no protection, so this Murderous Rider feels like a pretty good plan. And that's going to be Drown in the Loch. So that's going to be Hedron Archive for 4, and that still should give us just enough. So let's drop in Hedron Archive. We'll have Hedron Archive come down, and then let's go for Murderous Rider. No, excuse me, Swift End. Yes, that is right. We're going to go for Swift End on Kess. All right, so we take care of Kess, and then anything else, that's going to go back to the command zone. So they have Propaganda. We're really not worried about Propaganda. If they want to go for Propaganda, they certainly can. So anything else past the turn. So we were able to get Hedron Archive back down. We have gotten in a spot to where we can try to end up going for Xanathar again next turn. If they do have some sort of spot removal, they've got it. We still have Tezzeret as the backup option, but yeah, we're here to play have some fun, so we want to try to end up going for Xanathar. So we're going to draw into Drown in the Loch, because that is definitely something we don't mind having. And let's drop in Xanathar. Let's see if this is good. All right, so we're going to get Xanathar on the battlefield. And then anything else, kick it back over there. So they do have Island on top of their library. We're totally okay with Island right now. And then let's go and get the command zone closed down, and we still have Murderous Rider over there. So they've got one card left in hand. We'll see if they have any sort of answer for this. If not, then we're set up in a really good spot to get Ghoul Caller's Bell and Lantern of Insight active for Xanathar. So that works out. We don't have a ton of top of library style effects. But the fact that we do have Ghoul Caller's Bell and Lantern of Insight pretty close to our opening hand and drawing into it, that's a pretty good feeling. And it looks like we're going to be A-OK right now, so I kind of like this. So we'll see what we So we're going to draw into Seat. And we will definitely target our opponent. So let's go ahead and target our opponent, because that's the only target out there. And that's Reflecting Pool on top of their library. And so do we want to play that land? Let's go ahead and go for the Ghoul Caller's Bell. Each player mills a card. And that's going to be Island. And actually, we're okay with them ripping into Island right now. So we're going to leave that on top. So let's go for Seat, and let's drop in a Tezzeret. Actually, first, let's go and swing in for a 5/6. So that is a pretty good chunk of damage. Let's go and swing in for a 5/6, and we've got Demonic Tutor. So can we go 2? That's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. That'll still give us access to Ancient Tomb. Do we want to pay 2 to swing in for 5, or just end up going for Tezzeret? Because we still have access to Drown in the Loch. Let's do this. Let's just hold off. Let's get Tezzeret down and still keep up Drown in the Loch right now. I think I kind of like that. So let's go Tezzeret. And with us having Demonic Tutor on top, that keeps us open. I think we're still okay with going for the +1. If we don't want to dig into that, because if we can get the minus activated abilities going, I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's go for the +1. And then we do run into Thran Dynamo. But yeah, if we're going to end up going for Drown in the Loch, I think what we'll end up doing is we'll simply just passing the turn, because they're going to draw into Island. And with them being in top deck mode, trying to get Kess down, this is a pretty good feeling. We do see that Mountain is on top of their library. Now, this is unique. In a multiplayer setting with Xanathar, you definitely want to be targeting different opponents. But since the way this deck is kind of set up, it's 1v1, we're kind of getting the Lantern Control style lock right now. That's kind of what we're going for. And our opponent does, with Drown in the Loch, we will be able to take care of Kess. So let's go and go for that. So at our end step, let's go and go for Kess. And then now we do have Tezzeret on the battlefield, that will allow us to start swinging in with Xanathar to get that commander damage going. All right, so we're going to target our opponent. And we're going to save targets on this, and that way we keep that moving. And let's go ahead and go for Ghoul Caller's Bell, see if we can't find something good. All right, so we're going to draw into Watery Grave. And that'll be Soul Ring as soon as we get that down. So let's go and drop in Thran Dynamo. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go for the +1 off of Tezzeret. That's going to be Soul Ring. Let's drop in Watery Grave. We don't really necessarily need to shock that in. Not going to pay 2. Let's drop in Soul Ring. And then let's go ahead and pay the 2 for Xanathar to swing in, because now we're going to be able to start going for these Tezzeret activations. Let's go and swing in our opponent. That's going to be 5/6. Let's pay 2 off of Soul Ring. It's going to drop down to 32. That'll be on the board for 5 total commander damage. And then, yeah, anything else, we're simply just going to go and pass the turn. So we do have Tezzeret pumped up to 7. That's going to give us 2 different Tezzeret activations, which is going to be very nice. And then outside of that, we've got Tezzeret artifacts on top of our library. So that 2-card draw, that's going to be a very nice thing for us. And with Underworld Breach and with Lantern of Insight, we can sack it to shuffle it, but right now with us having Ghoul Caller's Bell, we're just going to wait until next turn. But yeah, outside of the deck, this is pretty much it. You want to ramp into Xanathar as quickly as possible. It allows you to do some pretty busted stuff. And it just so happens, opponent's going to go for Rite of Replication on Xanathar. Okay, I like that. They're going to have their very own copy of Xanathar. And all right, let's have some fun with this. We'll see what our opponent's got on top of their library, if we can mill it away and get into something a little bit better for us. So we'll have Xanathar target our opponent. And this is interesting. Okay. And we can always end up just going for the exile cost with Underworld Breach. So let's do that. So let's go Underworld Breach. Let's go Drown in the Loch on the copy. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one, so we'll take it on that one. So the cool thing with us having Underworld Breach in our ripping off the top of our opponent's library is we're also going to be able to get down Imrith, and that's going to give us another option to really start attacking our opponent's life total. So once we get rid of this copy, we're going to be able to mill this, and we can't go for that now. But we're basically in a spot to kind of grind it out from here. We got Kess's commander tax going up so high that they're not going to be able to do anything. We've got 2 -3 activations from Tezzeret. So that's going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to have 9 total damage being dealt to our opponent. So once we get Xanathar swinging in, once we get Einreth swinging in the following turn, we're looking at 10 combat damage. We're looking at 18 total Tezzeret damage. And then we still have Tezzeret to be drawing stuff off the top of our library. So there we go. Very good showing. I'm glad our opponent allowed us to kind of play this out. And yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game with Xanathar. So I'm excited to record more stuff in here, and that was a perfect showing, getting Lantern of Insight and a Ghoul Caller's Bell and be able to kind of manipulate the top part of our library. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.